So let's talk about something specific.
I guess like being unworthy of the relationship I want.
We have a question for you before you go there. Do you think that what you're hearing from us makes sense?
Yes.
And do you think that this explanation of the way the universe works, which makes sense, do you think you understand it?
No, yeah.
Yeah, we're sure of it. We know you understand it. So since you understand it, do you believe that your guidance system is going to be more effective for you than it's ever been before?
No, yes.
Because you know what it means. You know what emotions mean. Did you hear us when we talked about the vortex, the vibrational reality, where source is standing, calling you toward it? Can you feel that? Can you feel that source is calling you? And did you hear us when we said the only reason that we even call it a path of least resistance is because you are introducing resistance to the path? Do you think that as humans that you're ever going to be on a totally resistance-free path?
No.
And how do you think source feels about that? Great. We know that you're here to sort things out, and so we know there's plenty of resistance that you're sifting your way through, and we're still calling you, and you're hearing in the best way that you can hear. So isn't it all right for you to hold some beliefs that have resistance in them?
Because I wouldn't have clarity if I didn't.
Isn't it all right? And doesn't source still call you, knowing clearly what beliefs you hold? Source is still calling you through the maze of beliefs that you've set up into clarity. Don't you think it's time to give yourself a break? Don't you think it's time to stop judging yourself about your negative or bad feeling beliefs? Because source sure isn't saying, oh, that one's in a mess of bad beliefs. Source is still just calling you, calling you, calling you, calling you. And doesn't it feel good to come into clarity and come into clarity and come into clarity? Isn't it accurate to always say, I am where I am? Source doesn't say, you are where you are, and we know you want to be someplace different, but you got to get someplace different before we can help you. Source never says that. Source is calling you from wherever you are with the beliefs that you hold, calling you in to greater clarity. Don't you love knowing that? And so, don't you want to not call your beliefs a lie anymore? Just call them the beliefs that aren't serving me as well as some others might, and I'm working my way through some of those beliefs. Sometimes something will happen even with Esther where she will realize that she was unaware of a vibration until it became more, and then she's mad at herself that it became more, that she didn't know it earlier. And we say, what difference does it make? You are where you are. You are where you are. So the mantra that we would like you all to begin saying to yourself is, I really am doing the best that I can do from where I am, because not one of you certainly are not deliberately sabotaging yourself with negative beliefs. And sometimes a belief that served you at one point doesn't serve you at another point. That doesn't mean it was a bad belief. It means it was the path of least resistance from where you once were. Ooh. It was the path of least resistance from where you once were. But you want to hold yourself to these standards. If I believe this, I must always believe that. No, that belief is going to keep morphing because you keep evolving. Making a little bit of sense?
Yes.
Most important, we want you to be easy on yourself and give yourself a break more of the time and acknowledge that you're making enormous progress and that you're feeling better so much more of the time. And we know that when you've been born into an environment where well-meaning people have held you as their object of attention and have really needed you to be how they needed you to be in order for them to feel good, they trained you pretty good. And it's hard to break loose of the expectations of others. It's so interesting because they want you to please them, and that really is their strongest intention of encouragement. but it translates into disapproval when you don't please them. And then you begin to remember their disapproval almost like it's guidance, and that's where you start to develop those patterns of self-doubt and not self-worth. But it's so bogus. It really is not accurate in terms of who you really are. So those words, it's a lie, we're not asking you to rid yourself of that, because we have in fact been implying the same thing. You are good, and when you don't think you are, that's a flawed premise. And you are worthy, and when you don't think you are, that's a flawed premise. But you are in such a stronger place vibrationally than you are articulating verbally. And we think it's because you and almost everybody else keeps trying to explain where you are to somebody else. Cut it out. They're not ever going to get it. You're looking for people who are on your wavelength. There hardly are any of them. You have the potential of getting on the wavelength with your source, but don't ask people to be the reflector of your wavelength. Find vibrational alignment, and then let law of attraction bring you the people in the moment that they are on your wavelength. Now, did you hear that difference? So let's talk about that just for a minute. This is really a good conversation to have. So our premise is that source is in this pure positive place, always there, holding steady that vibration. So anytime you're looking for love in all the right places instead of all the wrong places, anytime you're looking for alignment there, you have a strong probability of finding it, because it is always being offered to you vibrationally. If you're looking for it in other humans, this one might be in a bad mood, this one might be sick, this one might be whatever. And so your odds of finding alignment with humans is not good. Oh, you can find out of alignment. In other words, you can be in the same bad mood. So the sales job that we're doing here, what we're asking is that you accept that the probability of finding alignment with source is far greater than finding it with anyone else, because source is always there and others often aren't. So you can follow us that far? So since source is always in alignment, and that really is what the path of least resistance is. Where does that path lead? To alignment with your inner being. That's where the path leads. So let's say you're finding it, and you're finding it, and you're finding it, and it's getting easier and easier to find it, and you're finding it, and you're finding it, and you've found it, and you're often there. So now, let's say there are others doing the same thing. Maybe they're doing it on purpose. Maybe they're finding alignment accidentally. Maybe they're just out in nature. Maybe they're just not doing that thing they do that holds their cork under the water, but they're in alignment. If you're consistently in alignment and you have the ability to do that, now law of attraction's going to match you up with this person and this person and this person and this person. But you don't need that person to always be in alignment. Source is always in alignment. So you've got your anchor, you've got your alignment, you've got your connection, and now law of attraction will bring you together with this one in their moment of alignment, and this one in their moment of alignment, and this one in their moment of clarity, and this one in their moment of fun. You see what we're getting at? But what do humans do instead? They say, hey, you, I've decided to make you my moment of alignment, which means you better be really good, because I'm counting on you, because I don't know about this. I'm counting on you for my alignment. And they let you down, didn't they? They let you down because they're not supposed to be that for you. You've got your own direct connection with source energy. So Esther keeps having these glimpses of clarity where she and everyone else is in alignment with source. And then law of attraction is just helping you just rendezvous with this one for this moment, and this one for this moment, and this one for this moment, this one for this project, and this one for this fun interaction, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. So you're just moving around in a state of alignment, and law of attraction just hooking you up with the best of 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 the best wherever you go. And then you're never again saying, I'm dependent on you for my happiness. Instead, what you're saying is, hey, I'm dependent upon my own guidance system and my own connection. And then law of attraction is often putting me together with you. And you, 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 and this, 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 and this. Constant, constant, constant. Clicking, 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 coming together, getting each other, but not needing to always get each other because you've got this, which is always stable, which is always there for you, which you can always tune into. Every relationship you have is now going to be so much better than it ever was before because you're going to let them all off the hook. You're not going to ask any of them to be what none of them were meant or born to be. Really good time for a segment of refreshment.